Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are showing off the Tier 9 USN Fletcher, and I have to say, I really do like the Fletcher. I really can't wait till I get her actually upgraded all the way, but we are at North. We have a Kaga, 2 Iowas, North Carolina, Bismarck, Colorado, St. Louis, Atlanta, 2 Fletchers, a Benson, and a Mahan on the enemy team. There is a Ranger, Iowa, Missouri, North Carolina, Moggy, Colorado, Rune, Fiji, York, Fletcher, Yugamo, and a Kagero. And I am joined with 2 of my clanmates, both Imperial and Lord Echelon. And I swear I butcher that name every single time. But anyways, going back to the shipper herself, I really do like her. I would have to say she's a better version of the Fletcher. Even though she's still stock, she's still really fun to play. So we have Swan kind of in the middle, and we're going to push up towards B. Now there is obviously a enemy carrier on the enemy team. Obviously, independent, so we do have to be at least weary of possible airplanes flying overhead, and it looks like our friendly Kaga does spot us a Kagero. See, can we get a few shots off? Looks like he is pulling away. He does not like the thought of being spotted, and we get a hit. Now we are being detected for just a little bit, but it looks like we're fine at the moment. It looks like the Independence is bringing possibly a dive bomber over. And going back to the Fletcher, just like the Benson, has those very, almost like a Michael Jordan airball, very floaty arc. I don't know why I just referenced basketball. I don't even like basketball. So do have to keep in mind that you do have to give plenty of lead to actually get your shots off where you want it. Now I am being a little bit careful. I am trying to cap. We do have 3 of our DDs pushing into B. Now this is not something I much really care for, because no one's over at C. We do have a friendly Atlanta, and I have to give props to this Atlanta. He did a very fantastic job. So the torpedoes are pretty decent. These are obviously not upgraded. These will go out to 9.2 kilometers. They hit decently well, around I believe 15,000 points, something like that. Might be a little bit off. So torpedoes aren't too bad. They are a nice little mainstay that will complement the guns of the Fletcher. Now B is officially captured, and we could honestly pull away. Now, unfortunately for us, those torpedoes are not going to hit, so that is slightly unfortunate. Now, the enemy team is pushing A quite heavily, and it looks like they are pushing C as well. It looks like one of their destroyers is over at D, currently capping it, so that is unfortunate. And then look at this. This York took pretty massive amount of damage. Went ahead, just opened up, trying to finish him off. Can we kind of snipe this kill? I believe this was actually done, as far as damage wise, was Echelon hitting him with his torpedoes, and of course, come on, 1 hit. Can I snipe this kill from my teammate? I think he's actually gonna get away. Crap. Well, that's unfortunate. Now, one major thing you got to keep in mind is if a ship is at the very extent of your range, your shells are going to miss because they just take so long to get to target that the ship will be out of range. So you do have to allow a ship to get a little bit closer, just so you can actually land your shells where you want them to be. Now the enemy team is pushing down into the southern part of A. We do have a friendly Bismarck. Let me quickly take control of the camera there. Friendly Bismarck is very low in health. Colorado's half health. Fortunately for us, their North Carolina is very low health, but there is also a Missouri pushing around the corner. I do spread a torpedo, or better yet, I do fire torpedoes on a spread that might possibly hit the North Carolina or the Missouri. I'm hoping this Missouri will come around the corner, but it is possible that fighter did spot the torpedoes were incoming, so we'll see if we'll actually land a shot. The Missouri looks like he's going to do the whole reverse maneuver and is going to pull away. Now, as this is happening, my friends over at the are on the east side, and they're gonna have some very close encounters there, so we'll see how that goes. So went ahead, popped my own smoke screen. We do have a few battleships spotting, and it looks like the friendly Mahan's torpedoes are going to land on this North Carolina. Does take a decent amount of health off of him, probably cause flooding. It looks like his engine is also knocked out. So this North Carolina is pretty much going to go down very, very shortly. And if I remember correctly, the Fletcher on the enemy's team fired torpedoes and essentially scared Ian, or Lord Echelon, to death. So yeah, that was a close encounter for him. But anyways, one nice thing about the Fletcher is just look at the shell arc. Look how we can actually land our shells over the mountain, and I'm just peppering away on this Missouri, hoping to get a fire. Fire would be nice. That definitely would be fantastic. Now you can, and I would always recommend it, use your torpedo marking as to where they're going to be going. Use it to kind of gauge on where the enemy is. Is he pulling forward? Is he pulling backwards? So if you are doing what I'm doing, firing over a mountain, we actually get a fire, which is pretty fantastic. Pretty nice. So he should burn. It's only one fire. I don't expect him to put that out, but then again, he may just do that. Now, our team is down in cap points. The enemy team has 2 base captures, and we only have 1. And the good thing is we are actually ahead in points. The Missouri is still burning quite nicely. Very, very nice. Iowa is low on health. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to assist him, and he does go down to the enemy of Missouri, and that's not something I really wanted to see. And it looks like we do have an enemy Yugumo that is dropping torps on our friendly Iowas, so he is at least doing his job. He's kind of keeping his distance. It does look... Actually, I'm wondering if he opened up. I don't know how he got spotted so easily, but he did. So, torps away at this Missouri. Now, granted, they are not upgraded all the way. We are hoping at least that we can get a few hits on this Missouri. That would be nice. And... so debating, and I do it. Yeah, I am a fool sometimes. I just get antsy. So, opening up on a rune. Now, a nice thing about the rune is it only has 1 gun in front, and it does have to show off a large amount of broadside just to get the rear guns in as well. So, it does look like we are able to get some damage on him. We do have a fire burning quite nicely. It looks like he does bring his rear guns to open up on us, and yes, I kind of deserve that. That was kind of a silly idea, but shots still going out. Went ahead, popped my other smoke screen. We do know there is a Missouri coming, and I do have to be careful of that. And there's the enemy Missouri slowly pushing out. Now, one major thing to keep in mind is anyone that is captaining a Missouri, you do have to be very, very careful of them, because they are probably going to be experienced players, because the only way you can get a Missouri is if you have 750,000 free XP, and that does take a while to accrue. I can attest to that. Still regret spending 300,000 for XP on a captain that I did not mean to do that. Yeah, I regret that. So, fortunately for us, the enemy team's not really being overly aggressive. They have 5 ships on the western side of the map here, not really pushing out. And we do get another fire on this Missouri, which is actually really good. Torpedoes are away. It looks like one of our torpedo tubes was reset, and is going to be a little while before I can get another salvo off. We'll see if we can get a little bit more, but that fire damage is really starting to rack up. And the enemy team is starting to push into B. The enemy team has not really been doing well, but then again, our team is somewhat struggling as well. We're kind of forced in the back. We do have a friendly Colorado that is currently sitting with our friendly Kaga. Don't exactly know why he's all the way back there, but I think he was the one that we did see earlier. And Missouri, yeah, does not like us at all. And unfortunately, our torpedoes are going to miss quite a bit. Unfortunately for us, he is showing our friendly battleships a large amount of broadside. Can we finish off this Missouri as quickly as possible? And it looks like the enemy independence is possibly going for me. It looks like that. Of course, the Rune knocks out our torpedoes yet again. Trying to be careful of the dive bombers. Looks like he is possibly coming in. Oh, just look at that. Oh, good lord. Of course, the Rune knocks out our rudder and as well as our gun. But this Iowa... Wasn't this Iowa full health when we last saw him? And I kind of sniped the kill there. Did kind of steal that kill. I'm pretty certain he was full health when we saw him. How did he get so low on health? I really do not know. But the enemy team is trying to cap B. There is a enemy Kagero, and I run right into the Iowa. Oh, good lord. I was not paying attention there. But we are doing very well on points. We are ahead in ships, and the Rune really does not like me at all. This Kagero just came to the wrong part of town. There is a Fletcher and an Atlanta just off to the northeast of him, and he's not going to have a great day. Should go down very, very quickly with an Atlanta and a Fletcher both firing at him. Who's going to get the kill? Yeah, it looks like the Atlanta did. Very good job. And here's this Iowa again. Good lord. Just continually almost running into this Iowa. So, Fletcher, pretty good. I will have to say, I kind of miss not having a superintendent on my Fletcher. I do not run superintendent. I opted for other skills on my captain. So I do have a very limited amount of smoke. I think I have about 3 puffs of smoke and maybe 3 or 4 engine boosts. So I do have to be very well aware and be very cautious of not just using my consumables willy-nilly. So that is one thing to keep in mind. But I still have a smoke puff left around. Want to get a little bit closer to this enemy Rune. Do have to be careful of the enemy Rune's hydroacoustics. Something very well to keep in mind. And obviously I haven't even talked about this, but it really has not come up. I do have on my captain the RDF skill, and it is super nice having that. I've had many opportunities to use that to my advantage. Torpedoes are dropped off against the enemy Rune, and we are coming within range of the enemy Amagi. He is looking to be turning away. I do go ahead and pop my own smoke screen, and let's just begin the bombardment of high explosive. More than likely should turn away, and look at that. Instant fire, and he instantly repairs it. Oh, that's not a very, very smart idea there. And our fire damage has really been our most important amount of damage that we've had in this game. Those torpedoes are looking pretty good, but I think I should have fired them a little more to the right. We do get one. It's going to cause flooding, and another fire. There we go. Now that damage control, and oh, we got an extra torpedo hit on the enemy Rune. That was very interesting. So, enemy Amagi should not have used his damage control. That was very presumptuous that he was not going to get hit by torpedoes or by fires, and this is one thing you definitely do not want to do. I did switch over to armor piercing, no damage, and we earn a witherer, and our damage is definitely racking up. Look at this. Look at this poor Amagi. I feel quite terrible for him, and he is going to go down here in just a moment. But anyways, who's actually going to get the kill? Can we get the kill? There we go. Flooded the Amagi to death, and let's go take a look at the victory screen and then on to port. So the team earned a victory. We brought home 337,701 silver, 4,263 XP, and 428 free XP. We earned Wither. We did 136,517 points of damage, 201 shell hits, 2 torpedo hits, 2 incapacitation, 2 kills, even though I did steal 1 technically, 6 fires, 1 flooding, and 1 assisted base capture. We were third on the team with a base XP of 1,833. The Atlanta was top of the team. Very good job there. Damage wise, we did 43,000 against the enemy Amagi, around 244 against one of the Iowas, and look at this Missouri, 59,000 against that Missouri. We did 28,000 against the enemy Rune and around 4,000 against the enemy North Carolina. We did with our high explosive around 44,898. Armor piercing did diddly squat, even though we fired 5 shells. Torpedoes did 22,199, but our fires and flooding did the most amount of damage out of all those. Fires caused 50,000 points of damage, and the flooding caused around 19,000, so overall not too bad. So we're gonna quickly jump into the port. I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, welcome back to the port, and like I said, the Fletcher, it's a fun ship. I really recommend it. I can't wait to upgrade her to the fullest. I think once I do, she's going to be even more fun. So let's take a look at the stats. Survivability, you have 17,050 points of health, which is kind of average for the DDs of the tier 9. Armor is fairly consistent. It's around 19 millimeters at the thickest. So overall, don't really expect to survive a lot of shots. You really are hoping for over penetrations. If anything, show broadsides to battleships. They're more likely to actually over penetrate than if you are narrow in and allowing that armor piercing shell to actually penetrate through your bow and all the way the length of your ship. So do keep that in mind. You do have 5 main guns. They have a reload rate of 2.9 seconds, 6.1 second turn time. Max dispersion is 96 meters. Max HE damage is 1800 with a 7.5% fire chance. Max AP damage is 2100, and I haven't tried the AP that often. Very rarely do I really get the opportunity to try it out. Most time I am trying to get that fire damage. Range is 11.8 kilometers, and once again the shell velocity is very sluggish, 792 meters per second. So you do have that arcing capability, which does allow you to fire over islands, and do use islands for your benefit. It does save you from having to use a smoke screen. But do keep aware that if you are facing off against a Soviet destroyer at long range, they are going to be superior to you. So do keep that in mind. You want to be that closer quarter to where your gun's ability to turn and reload faster will actually weigh in your advantage. So do keep that in mind. Now torpedoes, you have 2 quintuple sets, 533 meters. They have 122 second reload time. Max damage is 16,633. I was a little bit off there. Range is 9.2 kilometers, and they are very stealthy in the water at 1.1 kilometers, and they go 55 knots, so kind of sluggish. They're not very fast, so it does allow a ship to possibly get out of the way and dodge, but at least that low detectability does give them less of an opportunity to dodge at the last second. AA defense is decent. You have 4 single 20 millimeters. Average damage is 14 with a 2 kilometer range. Then you have 2 dual 40 millimeter of Bofors. Average damage is 23 with a 3.5 kilometer range. And then you have your main guns that offer additional AA. Average damage is 54 with a 5 kilometer range, which is not too bad. So you can at least shoot down some planes, but you don't have the ability to get the defensive AA until you upgrade the hull. So do keep that in mind. Maneuverability, 36.5 knots, not too bad. I believe it's actually about the same speed as the Yugamo. Obviously does not hold a candle compared to the Tashkent or the Udaloi, so be aware they will actually outspeed you, but not the worst. Definitely not the worst there. Turning circle radius is a beautiful 560 meters, a very tight turning circle radius. Rudder shift time is 4.5, and this will be reduced once you upgrade the hulls. Moving on to concealment, you have a beautiful detectability range of 5.8. Now you will not be able to outspot all destroyers. I believe the Kagero still has a lower, and as well as the Yugamo have a much lower detectability than you, so do keep that in mind. But you should at least outspot the Gearing and the Shimakaze, and I am obviously excluding any Russian destroyers here, as they have a very high detectability, so detection is pretty good. Moving on to modules, there is one additional module you can get once you've reached tier 9, and it is this slot here. This reduces the time to reload by 12%, but increases your traverse speed by 13%. So do keep in mind, but it will prove beneficial because once again it reduces your reload down to 2.9 seconds. Now you can get, especially depending on how you want to play it, you can get torpedo tube modification 3. This reduces your torpedo tubes reload time by 15%. So your torpedoes can become your main armament. It is viable, especially if you get this plus the additional captain skill. Just depends on how you want to play it, but beautiful thing about the USN destroyers is they're very generalists. They are able to both play as a gunboat as well as a torpedo boat, so these are both very viable options. I would not recommend gunfire system modification 2. This increases your range, which obviously, yes, it's nice to be able to fire at a much longer range, but your shells travel so slowly in the air and they arc so badly that actually landing your shells is very difficult and not even worth it. And obviously that increases your detectability quite a bit, so don't recommend this at all. AA modification 3, not really worth it, honestly. Yeah, it would boost your AA up a bit, but honestly, you're going to be either using your defensive AA consumable, which once again you don't get until you upgrade the hull. But yeah, don't really recommend it. Captain wise, like I said, I do have RDF. Let's actually quickly take a look. I do have preventative maintenance. Kind of want priority target. I really do like the skill, highly recommend it. I do have last stand. I have survivability expert, which increases the health. I have demolition expert, which increases your chance of fires, concealment expert, and RDF. So after this I only have 2 points left, and this is going to be more geared toward my gearing, no pun intended there. Torpedo acceleration, this is what I'm going to be getting with my last 2 skills for my gearing. This obviously increases the torpedo speed by 5 knots, but reduces the range by 20%. Gearing has around 15 kilometer range on torpedoes, so I don't mind reducing that just a little bit, just so I have a little bit faster torpedoes. So that's my plan, at least for the gearing. So this is going to be it for this video. I am very ecstatic to actually finally get the Fletcher. I know it's been a long time coming. I have been playing World of Warships for 2 years, and I finally am going up through the USN destroyer line. But definitely can't wait to see her fully upgraded. And I know, and I've heard this time and time again, a lot of people think the Fletcher is actually a better ship than compared to the gearing. Usually comes down to the size of the ship. The gearing is a little bit fatter. The guns are situated more so in actual turrets, so you have 2 guns in front. So actually 4 guns total in front, 2 guns in the rear, instead of single mounts like these are. So yeah, I will see. I will probably be getting the gearing just so I can say I got the gearing. And if I do decide to finally come back around to get the Fletcher, I will probably nab her again and have her once more. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.